Refresh your garden with the Bark Unlimited range of top quality organic products. Bark Unlimited Organics. Refresh nature.
Talking about mulching, you can use the compost as a mulch. Alternatively, we've got some lovely mulches. We've got peach pips, we've got macadamia nut shells, we've got different types of bark mulch, wood chip mulch, bark chips, bark nuggets. It all depends on the area that you want to cover. We've got some 5 of the people in the raffle will be each getting a bag of bark nuggets, the medium-sized one. Now that's a very popular product for pot plants, for mulching pot plants, because it's smaller pieces of bark. To put the big pieces of bark in a small pot doesn't work all that nice. Those are better for flower beds and even for your walkways in the garden. If you don't want to do a pathway with stone or bricks or something like that, you can always use our bark mulch or the bark chips. The reason we mulch, there are quite a few reasons we will mulch. One would obviously be for water retention. If you've got a nice thick layer of mulch in your garden, the chances of those seeds germinating there is so much less, because the top layer of the mulch will dry out and the seeds won't be able to germinate, but in the bottom it will stay nice and moist. And then also to protect your soil from excessive heat or excessive cold. Plants grow much nicer in an environment where the soil temperature is fairly constant. So if you've got, like we're expecting some cold over the weekend, the soil has already started heating up now that it's spring, and suddenly the cold front comes through and soil cools down very fast. It actually cools down a lot faster than water, and you've got a nice insulated layer of mulch on top. The soil temperature will stay more constant and your plants will grow a lot better in that way. We also do a lot of specialty mixes. We've got our orchid mix, we've got a cycad mix, we've got succulent mix, which is ideal for planting all your succulents, cacti, aloes and plants like that. And the latest product that we've put on the market is our hemp super soil. Now this was developed over the past couple of years with all the people that are growing cannabis for medicinal purposes, and I'm glad I'm getting some reaction. Now this can also be used for growing cannabis for recreational use, but we've just got to be very careful when it comes to growing cannabis at home. The law specifically states at this stage that it is for private use at your own residence by grown-ups. So if you've got adolescent people in the house, you're not allowed to use the product in their presence. And even if you've got other adult guests and you want to make a joint or whatever, they have to consent to you smoking it in their presence. So I look the part, but I don't do that, right? So there are some rules. The government hasn't put out legislation yet, although the Constitutional Court has found or has made the possession of a plant not being a criminal offence anymore. There are people who produce oils which can cure cancers and or suppress cancers, in some cases cure them as well, but making your own oil at home is not advisable, because the method of extraction is you have to do it the right way, because if you extract cannabis oil and it goes over 100 degrees Celsius, you destroy all the good stuff in the oil, and then it's basically just a drug that's going to make you high. So it's not advised to do it at home. Rather, contact somebody who knows what they're doing. Now you'll wonder why we're selling the hemp super soil in a retail nursery, and it's not only for the people who want to grow cannabis at home. We also have a wholesale nursery, and we supply, for instance, strawberry plants to a lot of the retail nurseries. And we were so confident that this was a good mixture that we've actually planted 16,000 strawberry plants in it. And there's enough nutrients in that soil, all organic, which we've put in there. So this is a ready to plant mix. You don't need to add any fertilizer to this when you're using it, and there's enough fertilizer in that soil for about 12 weeks of plant growth. So the moment you want, so this you can use for your strawberries, for your vegetable garden. You can mix it into a lot of our potting soils just to give it a better water retention. This mixture consists of Canadian peat, cocoa peat, vermiculite, perlite. 10% of that mix is earthworm castings, and then we've added some organic fertilizer to it as well. So like I've said, for the first 12 weeks you don't need to add any fertilizer to that potting soil, and you can basically grow any plants in it apart from maybe your succulents and cycads and so on, because this will retain a lot of water actually. We've got a clivia mix as well, so at the moment the clivias are starting to flower. It's never a good idea to transplant a plant while it's in flower, so we normally suggest wait until the plant is finished flowering, and then you can repot it into a bigger pot, or if you want to divide the plant, that would be the right time to do it. And we've got more than 40 different products in our range at the moment, of which most are available here at Hecker. And we also have a very nice website where you can go and have a look at all the different products, and the web address is www.barkunlimited.co.za. and we also have a YouTube channel with probably I think about 30 videos on it at this stage. And a lot of the videos will be on specific products, or for instance on mulching. I also started making some new videos, gardening tips. We did a very nice one on how to pollinate a cycad, where I showed how to harvest the male cone, how to get the pollen from it, and then how to actually apply the pollen to the female cone. It's a very lengthy process. Once you've pollinated the female cone, that cone will sit on that plant for about another 12 months before you can actually harvest the seeds. So I think we've done that video about 4 weeks ago. So in about another 10-11 months, we'll do another video on how to harvest the seeds and so on. So we've currently got a competition on our YouTube channel and on our website. There's a link on which you can click, and it'll take you through to our landing page on the website, and then there's a little promotion button on the side, a little black button. You click on that and you can go register there. So when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you get 1 entry to the competition, and then whenever you refer someone or invite someone to or share with someone, for every share you also get an entry to the competition. And once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will have a lucky draw. One person will win Bark Unlimited product of their choice to the value of 5,000 Rand. Right, so if I could urge you to please go subscribe on our channel. You will once a week get a new video. We put out 1 video per week. It's very interesting. I try and keep it simple. We don't make it highfalutin language or anything where people need to be scientists to understand it. It's for ordinary people like us. Easy garden tips. Some of the videos are as short as 2 minutes, and then some of them are 8 or 12 minutes or so. It's also done a very nice podcast, which is also available on our channel, which is about 35 minutes, where I also speak on where I come from, what I do, what I believe in, and why I believe we need to go the organic route instead of chemical fertilizers in our gardens, for instance. And if I can just quickly touch on that, the basis for most chemical fertilizers is salt. And if you keep on adding salt to your soil, you're basically poisoning your soil. And with the organic fertilizers and compost and so on, the presence of salt is almost not there. So it's a lot better adding organic matter to your garden. Like I said, any compost, kraal manure, chicken litter, anything you can get your hands on, instead of chemical fertilizers. Now I know the chemical guys will crucify me for that. It's not that I say stay away completely from chemical fertilizers. Chemical fertilizers do have a use, and that would be for an instant fix in your garden. So if you see you've got a nitrogen deficiency, the problem with if you keep on using chemicals, it breaks down the structure of the soil. In other words, in years to come you will have to add more chemical fertilizer to get the same results, and you will also get that because of the structure of the soil is not what it used to be, the water will leach all the nutrients out, and your soil will also dry out a lot quicker. So if you add compost to your garden on a regular basis and you use organic fertilizers, you will actually build up the structure of the soil, and your soil will have a better water retention. At one of the Avo farms of ZZ2 in Tzaneen, they've applied 10 tons of compost per hectare of Avo trees, and then what they also did that's per year for 10 years in a row, and what they also did was all the branches that they pruned, they just cut into small pieces and left them under the trees as a mulch. And we were fortunate enough to be in that specific orchard, and you take away the dead leaves and the branches and you get this lovely layer of pitch black soil. And the orchard had like a red soil, and it's a sort of a clay soil, and then once you take away the leaves and the branches, you get this pitch black soil. You dig into it, and all the yellow roots of the Avo trees are actually coming to the surface for that nutrient rich layer, and you dig about that much into that layer and you get earthworms there. So they've actually found that they use a lot less chemical fertilizers on an orchard which they've treated with a compost. They were using less water, and the yield was about 3 times the yield on an orchard where they only used chemicals. So going the organic route, and ZZ2 is very pro doing organic, and they only fix a problem with chemicals when it's really necessary. And I think all of us, we all love gardening, that's why we're here, and we love to work with our hands in soil, and it's so much nicer working in a rich dark soil than in maybe a sandy soil which is dusty and lifeless. So by adding compost and organic fertilizer to our gardens, we can create that ideal environment for all the microorganisms, the earthworms, and everything to live in. You'll also find that crops, your edible crops that are grown organically, has got a much longer shelf life. It's got a much better taste, and it's much healthier for you because it's got all the right nutrients in it.
Refresh your garden with the Bark Unlimited range of top quality organic products. Bark Unlimited Organics. Refresh nature.